Ladies and gentlemen, it is Fly versus WFZ time, Orc versus Undead, my absolute favorite matchup of all time, because you normally get to see a lot of creeping, a lot of late game action with strong heroes. So let's see if these players will stick to the recipe or if they've got other plans in mind for this one. Map is Amazonia. Let's go. Of course, these players belong to the World Elite. Fly, known for sometimes wonky hero management, to say the least, is definitely known for losing a Blade Master here and there. And his opponent, WFZ, one of my personal favorite Undeads. I think he's a little bit underrated in my personal opinion, although we haven't really seen him on the highest of echelons in competitive play. I think he's always good for a surprise or two. So let's see what these two players have in mind. Of course, the Orc Undead matchup at the moment is very exciting, in my opinion at least, because there is several ways you could play it potentially in terms of heroes. We've seen Side, not necessarily against Orc, but I'm pretty sure he plays it against Orc as well. For example, relying a lot of the Dreadlord first, and we see not necessarily traditional Fiend opening here. Instead, we see an early Crypt and a Tomb of Relics. Wait a minute, what are you up to, WFZ? Definitely wants to get out the hero for some early harassing, maybe for some early minion creep contestation as quickly as possible. Goes for a DK though, so no uber shenanigans up to this point. And on the Orcish side of things, we see a Shadow Hunter first. And I was going to go back on this aspect of this matchup, right? We're all used to seeing Blade Masters all over the place, sometimes even Farseer if you want to be really annoying, if you want to have really good scouting and creeping early. But a Shadow Hunter first against Undead, that is definitely something I haven't seen in a long time. So the Shadow Hunter, of course, the all-star, superstar second hero choice for Orcs these days, with strong healing, with strong CC if needed, or sometimes against Mass Huntresses if you're playing a Night Elf with Snakes to provide that piercing damage as well. But what are we going to see against the Undead? It wouldn't surprise me if we saw Hex first, to maybe prevent the nuke and catch some Fiends early. But let's see what Fly has in mind. Goes for Healing Wave, of course. This allows easier creeping. It's much more forgiving now if you take damage. 3 units, by the way, uses a peon here to trigger the Lightning Shield, which will only trigger if there's 3 units or more surrounding this Renegade Wizard. So make sure to get that strong AoE damage out and take these minions, or take these creeps down as fast as possible. Oh, almost. Woof. Out of range. I think that was all calculated, right, Fly? Yeah, sure. All calculated, man. If that Lightning Shield gets... Oh, no, WFZ, oh my goodness, the low damage roll. Excuse me, the low damage roll preventing the Shadow Hunter from dying. He didn't even break a sweat. Fly was willingly expecting this Death Knight attack, and only then used the Healing Wave. Absolute madman. And now he used the Healing Self. This one gets cancelled by yet another Death Coil. So both players relentlessly harassing each other. At this point, I'm not sure if it's worth going into the Orc base too deep on the side of WFZ, or wasting more mana, or spending more mana, I should say, to cancel this Healing Self. He's trying to cancel it the traditional way by attacking. Frostborn delivers a strike, and the healing is greatly denied. Dude, even gets the healing deny on the Grunt. This was good value for the Death Knight. Although he didn't steal much, although he didn't get the hero kill, he made sure that a little bit of the money that Fly spent early was wasted. Destroys the Frog here to get another corpse on the map for more Skellies. And he sends those Skellies into the Shadow Hunter to weaken him down even more. He needs to be careful though, because by giving those skeletons over to the hero, by letting them die, he gets additional experience. Now, what is WFZ up to in his main base? No Fiends in production at this point. There we go. As we speak, we see the first Fiend finally entering the fray. And it is Hex indeed. Hex and Healing Wave. There could be a 3-unit surround near those trees. We've all seen that happen before. With that Speed Scroll, though, that Shadow Hunter is greatly outrunning the DK. Another Hex going in through as well. And the DK is trying to get the Knight here with the creeps, but it was not successful, or was it? Unfortunately, I wasn't able to watch the experience before and after that hero kill, but man, oh man, regardless whether he got the experience or not, that was so much additional time just bought by the Orc player. absolutely fantastic. The idea by WFZ was good, you know, to let himself get denied by the creeps. However, the death sucks nonetheless. It's only a level 1 hero, mind you, but it still takes away precious time, and it still delays the level 2 for the Unholy Aura even further. So this game, this early game right now for this Shadow Hunter looks mighty amazing. I think he actually got the kill. A level 1 hero just isn't that much experience, mind you, so he's getting very close to level 3 right now. Could be a level 2 Hex if he really wants to take that Fiend Harassment or the Hero Disable to the next level, but the more likely, the more obvious choice is going to be a Healing Wave rank 2, which is pretty crazy. So here we go. The Shadow Hunter can't stop and won't stop creeping. He's trying to get that level 3 as quickly as possible. Might even go straight up for that level 4 at a high level. Shadow Hunter early is so impactful, or can be so impactful for the Orcish race. Now, he finds the Lion Horn of Stormwind, which honestly, in my opinion, is not bad at all. Ever since the changes with patch 1.31, these aura items now scale with the basic version of the respective hero aura, so it is almost as if he had a paladin with the Stormwind Lion Horn. So really good against the Fiends, you know, cause these grunts to be a little bit more beefy, a little bit more resilient against the damage they provide, the Fiends that is. So good stuff. I really like the Lion Horn for an Orc army. Makes those already beefy grunts even tankier. So let's see what WFZ can pull out of his head. He needs a magic trick at some point to get back into this. Because look at this poor little DK, still at level 2, not even close to level 3, can't even dream about it. And we see a Pit Lord entering the fray, ladies and gentlemen. It is a so-called undead hero. Although he's not part of the undead faction, he is undead nonetheless, or counts as an undead, which means death coils can't hurt him. So this already makes him a lot more resilient than against other races, because you basically take one of the strongest factors about Undead, which is hero nuking, and you take that away. So it's very predictable for Fly to predict now as to where the hero focus, if there is any hero focus, is going to land on. Also keep in mind, of course, that the Pit Lord is oftentimes an underrated hero. His damage can be truly magnificent if he reaches later level. He's a late game powerhouse. Went for Cleave level 1, by the way, as you can see with those green shimmers around the auto attack. So all the units in a radius around the Pit Lord are going to take damage. It's not going to be much in the beginning, mind you, but you know, on Amazonia with a couple of creep spots, especially with the opportunity to go for claws plus 12 for the Granite Golems. I mean, if any of the players is lucky enough to find those, it's going to benefit them both. The Lich is certainly not going to say no to those, with Orb of Corruption and plus 12 damage. But also the Pit Lord could go for Mighty Cleaves, you know, if he finds any of those items. He could, of course, also consider buying... Wait, never mind. I take that back, because there's no marketplace. There's no marketplace on a map like Echo Isles where there's a marketplace. He could have also considered buying Circlets or buying Claws of Attack plus 6. But on Amazonia, not so much. Still gets Circlets here, though, so that's good. Gets the Rune Braces. Oh my goodness. I would actually transfer that to the Shadow Hunter, so the more fragile Shadow Hunter is not as susceptible to Undead Hero Nuke as is the Pit Lord. But either way, usually not a good item, but if you play against Undeads, Rune Braces are amazing. Definitely want to keep those. And the Orc, Fly, currently on his way to deal some damage. What? Wait a minute! WFC, I mentioned in the beginning that you were one of my favorite undeads to watch, but not like this. You can't lose a Lich to a creep camp like this, even when it's epic Granite Golems. You can't lose a Lich. That's potentially game deciding and crippling. He found the Catgir's Pipe of Insight, so that made up a little bit for that, because mana is an undead's best friend, and mana regeneration is certainly amazing. But losing your Lich there, that is a big blow, because it was a level 2 hero, takes a little bit longer to revive. During that time now, it also means that the Undead cannot fight back. Who also went for a Pit Lord himself, by the way. So we have two pities in the game. Feels good. But the Acolyte here gave his life to scout the upcoming Orc expansion. Orc expansions take so long, but I think because of that Lich dying, the Orc player Fly is getting it through.
The sleeper wakes.
The overlay shows 3 Pit Lords, by the way. Yeah, I just noticed that too. Looks like the overlay was not prepared for the insane amount of Pit Lords, so don't get distracted, guys. There's only one. There can only be one. It would be pretty nuts if you could go for the exact same neutral hero twice in a row. Like you start off first hero Pit Lord and you get another one. That would be pretty insane. Alright. Granite Golem Camp number 2. This time it is not WFZ, but it is Fly who's trying to creep it. And he's using a cute little trick. He's using an end snare from a raider to potentially surround and body block it, but WFZ is here. The Lich came back. I'm not even sure if Fly was aware that the Lich fell to a creep camp. I'm not sure if he had vision there. But this is the first real skirmish, the first real engagement that we are witnessing here. By the way, we have now the Howl of Terror, reducing the Fiend's damage and everyone else trapped inside of its radius. The lower Pit Lord, WFZ's Pit Lord, doesn't have those tools available, right? Oh yes, he also went for Howl. So it's double Howl, no cleave at level 1 here for the blue Pit Lord. So both armies' damage will be crippled quite nicely, and there's no Dispel on either side. No Destroyers yet, there is no Spirit Walkers, no Shamans, so this is going to be a straight up clash. And it looks like WFZ with triple hero advantage and the strong Lich with, you know, double attack speed from Gloves of Haste, and also the Orb of Corruption is dealing terrible damage onto the Orc. Tries to somehow get that body block and surround in onto the red Pit Lord, but despite his humongous size, Asgalore, the Orc's Pit Lord, squeezes his way out of that, and that costs a lot of time and a lot of resources. Now, can the Orc strike back? Strong healing wave after healing wave. Finally, we see some focus fire onto those statues there as well. A Berserker gets nuked immediately. Can he run away from the skeleton? Needs to go all the way to safety, but WFC is still holding strong. I think, technically speaking, on this battlefield right now, he has the stronger army. Stronger heroes, though? I'm not so sure. Dakota gets taken out, though. The previously Eden and Devoured Fiend is now free again. The Shadowhunter is getting dangerously low on health here. Needs to be careful of that potential hero nuke coming through. And we see the Lich dishing out damage after damage. Every auto attack of that Lich hurts like a 10-ton hammer. Alright, here we go. Another one gets the Raider. The healing wave a little bit too late. And these two players are just hitting themselves like boxers in a ring. No time for a breather, no time for breaks. It is unit after unit that is falling. Berserkers are an interesting idea here against destroyers in the future. But I think right now they're basically just free fodder. I think Fly should probably keep those Berserkers home at base. So until you have a decent number, because otherwise the Lich is just going to eat them for breakfast, right? So here we go, another healing wave, but now that means the Shadowhunter is completely out of mana. Only has 1 clarity left, but exactly 0 mana. So no more hexes, no more healing waves, and I think the Undead reigns supreme. The Obsidian statue is now the target of interest, gets that kill as well, pretty sweet, but at what cost? I think WFZ has killed so many units, has gained so much experience, that in terms of heroes, he has at least an even trading, probably even the upper hand, honestly. And I love that split attacks by the Lich here, always trying to provide the armor debuff onto as many units as possible. Here we go. Another statue is being trapped. But we can basically see what we mentioned earlier, right? This Pit Lord is almost uncontested. He can't be nuked. So he tries to deliver all the damage onto those units, and the Shadowhunter is going to execute it. Unless it goes over to the Granite Golem and causes the creeps to kill it. And now, are we finally going to see some body blocks? Huge coil here, and the frost armor too, to slow the attackers down. This could be the body block. WFC doesn't blink with an eye. He smells it and sees it and almost kills it. There was a healing potion, a greater healing onto the pity. Does he have enough space there for the TP? No, there is no TP. There is no TP. It was the Idval that was getting transferred. So a little bit of time was being bought. And are you really sure you want to surround a Pit Lord with cleave for too long? Heavy damage onto those fiends, but in the end, it is the result, the outcome that matters. Another coil, maybe another Lich Nova, and even the Shadowhunter could say peace and bye-bye. But with that long skirmish and with that heavy bloodbath, there was absolutely nothing left in terms of mana. Buys it back immediately because, hey, double eco. Super sick. That was a really, really nice answer here by Fly, who lost more units in the battle, no doubt. Who gave more experience over to the enemy heroes, no doubt. But that was still a hefty loss. Let's look at this. Almost level 3, 3rd hero Pit Lord. Almost level 5 Undead, Death Knight. I can't begin to explain, by the way, guys, how much value this Pipe of Insight is giving over to the Undead army. That could be very well that one item that could win the game. Kills off all the peons. Poor little fella stand no chance. Tries to go for the second burrow, but this is where reinforcements are kicking in, guys. The Raiders have joined the fray once more. They're looking pretty good. If Fly somehow can buy more time for the healing selves to do their work. Let's take a look at the mana as well. There's another Clarity. The Shadow Hunter is looking pretty solid. The Pit Lord, not so much, but all he really needs, let's face it, is auto attacks in the first place. Gets slowed by Frost Armor and Nova. And already the focus fire is pretty strong. Doesn't have an invul. The invul gets transferred. Uses it immediately. But this is not a fight the Orc can take, right? Fly, you want to retreat already. I'm not sure if you have enough healing chain heals ready to keep the Pit Lord alive at the same time. Kodo is getting sniped. No more damage bonus for those Orc units. But I love how Fly just prioritizes the Obsidian statues right now. Tries to go for the sustain. Tries to go for the mana healing as well. And now, all of a sudden, the Hunter is becoming the Hunter. Death Knight, how does it taste? Your own medicine, huh? You were trying to surround enemy units and heroes all the time. You were trying to nuke them down. And now you are becoming the Hunted. But oh my goodness, the Pit Lord is dying. Another Ensnare. Frost Armor is dealing so much slow over. But it is a hero for a hero. It is a first hero for a second hero. And without the Death Knight, ladies and gentlemen, no more mana regeneration from the Pipe of Insight. So the Undead heroes are now dry. And it is Fly. No way, it's another surround. The Orcs. Oh my goodness, the Grunts. They basically bought the space. They created the escape route for the Shadow Hunter. Otherwise, that could have been a disastrous outcome. The game of surrounds. Ladies and gentlemen, the new show on HBO. I love it. I love it to the max. Both players are showing that they're not afraid to take a chance when they see it, to go for those body blocks and surrounds. Oh, baby. But let's go. How much can they do? All the heroes are out of mana, and you gotta be kidding me right now, right? WFZ? Didn't you learn a lesson from just a few moments ago? From just a few seconds ago? He's going to lose the Pit Lord now. He's too thick, too juicy. And the Hex to prevent the coil? No way. Perfectly executed. Fly, what a man. He makes the dream come true. He uses his level 2 Hex to deny the Death Knight the saving coil onto the Pit Lord and gets yet another hero kill. And unlike Fly, WFC doesn't have the double base income. Every hero, every unit that he loses matters way more. And those Ensnare, man, they are so deadly. Does he have enough mana for a coil? No, he does not. Fiend after Fiend goes down. Level 5 Death Knight, let's go. Those are 3 level 3 coils now. Use them aggressively this time because he realizes, you know what? Right now I'm looking fairly decent. Okay, the peons are still trying to repair that burrow, but can they do it? Nice Nova there. Juicy free XP. The Lich just got level 4 there as well. The Undead heroes are starting to get really scary. But needs to wait for the Pit Lord right now. The Lich completely out of mana. Did he even go Dark Ritual? Yes, he did. He went Dark Ritual, so he could consume either of those Fiends for a little bit of mana. But of course loses a precious unit for that. You don't want to do that lightly. Interrupts the mana regeneration from the Clarity. Nicely done. Move your Lich. Don't get surrounded again, please. WFC needs to be playing the kiting game right now. But I gotta commend Fly there as well for his immaculate target prioritization. Always goes for those statues. No healing, no extra mana. Wonderfully done. And probably WFC needs to evacuate those remaining statues already. This game is a permanent brawl, an absolute slugfest. Both players refusing to let go. The Kodo has eaten, by the way, is trying to go for a Fiend as dessert. Can they liberate the Fiend? I think so. Superior movement speed is just good, but it takes precious seconds away from the heroes so they can reign supreme. The Pit Lord. When is the Undead Pit Lord coming back? Exactly as we talk about it. There it is. A little bit of shopping time here. Buys a Rod of Necromancy and is on his way. And I think with the third hero incoming, WFC might have what it takes to fight back. Nice saving coil there as well. The mana is looking decent. Howls of Terror left, right, and center. Both armies crippled yet again in terms of attack damage. But who's going to have the better hero focus? I think it might be the Undead. Reducing the armor of the Pit Lord is super good. But the shop is next nearby. Super convenient fighting location for Fly. If WFC had paid attention to the shop, he could have actually stolen away the Potion of Invulnerability and maybe taken down this Pit Lord. And as it is, the Shadow Hunter, level 6, by the way. Is it big bad voodoo time or is it level 3 hex time? No, it is not the big voodoo, the big bad voodoo. Although it is such a cute heroic ability, such a cute ulti, it usually doesn't get much value in team fights usually. It's just too expensive. It can be interrupted, of course, by silence or stuns or something along those lines. And it also makes the Shadow Hunter stationary, which means he can't heal, he can't hex. But here we go. Nice teleportation here from the Shadow Hunter, not investing into a TP scroll. Now replenishing his mana once again. Drops the Telestaff, by the way. Probably uses it on a different hero later, or just ignores it for now because he needs those consumable items in his inventory. Even goes for a Dust of Appearance. He probably wants to make sure if there's any undead shades floating nearby to prevent potential scouting. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Wait a minute, Mr. Pitlord, you don't have any potions right now, but you've got the Shadow Hunter, your best partner in crime, making sure that you stay safe and sound. And unit after unit is being focused. Another statue is falling. I love what Fly is doing, but did he overstay his welcome this time? Is he using or losing too many units just to take down those statues? So far, it is going left and right, you know? Fiend slow, Grunt slow, Raider slow, Statue slow. Everything is getting bruised and battered in these never-ending fights. What's the mana household doing on the DK side of things? 170 and 5, that is very healthy. With the Catgar's Pipe of Insight and the continuous mana regeneration from those Obsidian statues, which takes a lot of extra micro, by the way, you are guaranteed to get the most out of your heroes. And speaking of undead heroes, they're getting really scary. Pit Lord, level 4, very close. The level 4 Lich already super strong. We don't even want to imagine what happens to those poor Orc units when the Lich hits that level 5. Here we go, but the healing on the side of the Shadow Hunter is just too strong, right? The damage, despite great Undead Nuke, is just not there because of those strong level 3 healing waves. And now, Pit Lord in trouble. Surround yet again. Is it a deja vu? We have seen that before. Cleave, Howling of Terror, healing, so much damage mitigation, so much AoE damage. This Pit Lord is a threat that needs to be eliminated. It did get eliminated, but at what cost? The Shadow Hunter, by the way, probably couldn't use the mana potion in time, couldn't heal his friend, and now with another hero being dead, it could be WFZ's moment to shine. This is where he needs to continue the push. Frost Armor, by the way, on every fiend in the backline. These Orc units are getting slowed so much, but speaking of which, those Orc units haven't really died a whole lot. They're still around. Decent number, healthy number of grunts, which is really good against the fiends. Do we still have production going on? At the moment, we don't, but the base is still flourishing. And speaking of bases, second base against second base now. The Undead makes a big move. WFZ is about to win this game if he can keep up the 2 economy playstyle here. His heroes are already stronger. His units are looking good too. Upgrades on Fiends 0-0, but that can be changed. Orc units also 0-0. Headhunters. Yep, no upgrades at all for either player. So who is going to get that first mighty swing? Level 4 for the pity. Let's go. Is it now 4 versus 4? Can you believe it? The second hero Pit Lord now pulled even, or the third hero Pit Lord, I should say, pulled even with the second hero Pit Lord. So much experience was gained for WFZ. And despite being level 6, the Shadow Hunter loses damage. It loses value in the very late game. It is not a killer. It is a healer and sustainer. And speaking of which, needs to heal himself. He's in trouble. Is slowed. Low in mana. I think Fly is committed. He wants to use the sieging damage on the Raiders to destroy this haunted gold mine. The Acolytes have been pulled. They're getting body blocked right now and also attacked from the Pit Lord and the Cleave. But I think he's got that on that mine. That is probably going to be it. Repair coming through. 3 Acolytes. Is it going to be enough? No way, Jose. I think it is actually going to be enough, right? No. He needed to save those Acolytes because of Cleave on the Pit Lord. So the Undead expansion is down, but at what cost? A lot of units have fallen once again. He's trying to go for the surround of the heroes. He gets the kill on the Shadow Hunter as well. Wonderfully done there on the side of WFZ. Just when we thought he had gained such a major victory destroying the Undead expansion, but he was so committed to it, he was so one-way ticket into it, that he forgot about the heroes, or he had to take that into account. And as it oftentimes is the case when playing against undeads, you give the heroes too much time to get into the late game, they are going to wreck you. Because of superior sustain, superior damage, and nuking potential on both units and heroes. And honestly, ladies and gentlemen, what in my opinion was the secret MVP of this game was the Khadgar's Pipe of Insight. Kudos to the Lich that gave his life for it. You may argue it was all part of WFZ's master plan. I doubt it was, though. But the Khadgar's Pipe of Insight, so good. So good. 3 undead heroes, well, two and a half. Let's not count the Pit Lord as a true undead hero, but kind of an undead hero. But these 3 heroes constantly getting additional mana back. Too strong. Very, very strong. Very strong indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this game. It was a constant slaughter, a bloodbath, an absolute machine of a game. If you enjoyed it, feel free to leave a thumbs up. Drop a comment in the comment section down below. And let me know what your favorite matchup is. Let me know what you thought about this game in the comments, right? And until then, I'll see you in the next Warcraft 3 replay cast. Keep an eye out for those. Have a great day. Peace.